So I've been releasing new videos lately at a kind of a faster pace than I have for years actually. But even when I was at my peak in releasing videos, it's at a faster pace than those two. The reason being, well, there were two. One was because of Zip and the fact that very few people knew about it, but their kids did. And I really wanted to get the warning out to adults to just be aware that this product is out there. If they're followers of my previous materials, that they would understand pretty quickly what the implications would be of their young people in their lives starting to administer nicotine from this new source, and then if you were a new viewer, to realize I have resources that address nicotine and all the issues that can go along with it. Besides the medical implications, just the cost of becoming an addict. Well, that was what started me back into making videos more frequently. Then I've been starting to work with AI tools, and they're supplementing issues that I've had for several years now, where I really do have trouble reading, almost like a dyslexic kind of a reading pattern, even though it's not from dyslexia. It's another brain processing issue that I've had with auditory problems for a long time. It's really what caused me to retire back in 2020. But with the AI tools, I'm starting to be able to do some things that I couldn't do before utilizing those resources. That it, br- One of the things that I'm doing is taking some of my old articles that I had never made videos for because they never translated to really me storytelling the article, and I couldn't just read it because I've had the reading issue for quite some time. But with AI, I found that I can now pretty much do what sounds like a professional kind of dubbing, where I could just take my articles, dump them into an AI program, and they would read out in a pretty professional sounding reading style. So I really do appreciate that for making me able to do things I couldn't do before. I've had a few comments on the channels like, "Oh, they miss my voice," and I understand that when I'm reading, or not when I'm reading, but when I'm telling things, I do it with more inflection and more enthusiasm in a way than I will ever get a professional reader to do. So I understand that implication, but the alternative was I would never release these things because I could never read them out with any kind of a clarity. So, while I apologize for, not doing it live, it really is the only way I can get it done. Well, another feature that I found is I can now do language translations, which is kind of funny because I can actually do the language translations in my voice, just speaking another language. The problem that I have right now, and I've done a few samples, is I'm not sure the accuracy because they're going into another language that I don't speak the language. I had a few people say, "Oh, they would help me with this," and requested that I do some specific languages, which I did, but I haven't gotten the feedback from them yet, whether it would, because they were going to send it off to other people, about whether it was an accurate translation. I created a page that took the smoker's vow, and I have a version in English on that page. I have a version in Spanish, in Portuguese, and in Greek. If anyone seeing this video speaks any of those languages other than English fluently, so in other words, like a native speaker, so that they don't just know that the words are correct, but the phrases are correct, that the accuracy is there of pretty much a person who would be a native speaker, I'd like some feedback on that. I'm trying to do as economically as possible because there's a fee every time I have to do a translation. And I signed up for this monthly plan, and in 2 days, I got 25% of my month done. So it's like I don't have many left this point. So I want to know before I produce more which that the translation is good enough to be able to use for, going to other countries for people to really be able to understand it, and that it comes out, relatively articulately, like, the original article would have been. So if anybody does speak any of those languages, I'm going to put that page up here. Or if any of you want to go see what it just sounds like when languages are translated by AI, but keeping the voice of the person speaking, it's interesting to see for that. But if anyone can give me some feedback of whether these translations were accurate, that'd really be appreciated. So, okay, I just want to get you up to date on why, if this translation thing does work, that I will have more things coming out this way. Why I am doing a lot more dubbing rather than actually just reading out of these articles. But when I'm doing things like this, which are more conversational, those will still be this way. Again, I don't know that I'll be doing this kind of frequency on those, but just kind of as a channel update, I thought this would help explain why things are happening at the pace they are right now, and again, hope to get a little bit of assistance on this one translation project. All right, for if you're a new viewer watching this, I have tons of resources to help you. If you want to quit smoking, if you want to help other people quit smoking or quit using nicotine, or now into prevention of all these different products, your cigarettes, your vaping products, your pharmaceutical products with nicotine, which again prolong the withdrawal process and pretty much makes quitting more complicated than it needs to be and more expensive. I have materials to help for people on many aspects of all these issues to break free from all of them. It really is a matter of just stopping its delivery. It's no more complicated than that. The resource materials I have can help you understand things better. That can make it easier. But whether you read it or not, it really will eventually get easy if you finally stop administering nicotine. And just to stick with my tagline, to stay off of smoking, it is always still making and sticking to a personal commitment to never take another puff.